So today we have our Zero electric experience tour date. That's an opportunity for anyone to come down and try an electric motorcycle. So it's not a selling day, it's an experience day.
Zero is 100% electric, of course. What's special about them? They've been around the longest. We are the defining brand for motorcycles. We sell more electric motorcycles than any other electric motorcycle manufacturer in the world. They're built in California, and we are, I think, probably the defining brand and probably the best brand that's around at this moment in time.
So we are now seeing a big uplift in inquiry on electric motorcycles. We think that's down to the basis that petrol bikes are becoming a lot more expensive to run. The Zeros, for example, are very good for commuting. They've got a good range, around 120 miles on a single charge, and that's costing you around £2 to do that sort of mileage. So compared to your petrol bike, that probably costs you closer to £20 now, you've got a massive saving.
And even with this terrible weather, we've still had over 40 riders turn up. Even the hardcore petrol heads who had no interest in these electric machines have gone out and come back with a very different attitude towards them.
I was always a bit sceptical initially with the electric, but now having ridden a couple of them, definitely consider buying one. As a second bike, mind, I would never give up my petrol bike.
It was actually really enjoyable, which I didn't know what to expect. I was a bit sceptical, but once you got used to not having a clutch, it pulls as good as my Ducati, which is 200 brake, so off the market it's really good. It handles really well. The battery being low gives it a low centre of gravity. It reminded me a little bit of a Honda, handling wise. Yeah, quite an enjoyable ride. I was quite impressed, to be honest. Yes.
I like the electric bike, but I'm not ready to convert myself at the moment. But that said, I can't fault them, to be perfectly fair. In eco mode it's fine, it's a nice little ride, but you put it onto sports mode and it's frightening. The acceleration is much faster than my petrol bikes, for sure. It handles brilliantly, goes around corners fabulous. It's a very, very well balanced bike.
I really enjoyed it in sport mode with less engine braking. The acceleration was really good, and the weight didn't affect anything on the road. Maybe I would have preferred a slightly bigger front wheel to go through the potholes and a little bit of screen, but other than that I think it was a really good bike.
My experience today riding the electric bike compared to a petrol bike, it's a bike. It still feels like a bike. I think the lack of a clutch or gears is a little bit getting used to, but it's the future. It definitely is. I don't think petrol bikes will ever go away, but it's a great complementary bike and definitely something I want to have in my garage.
Electric motorcycles are an alternative to people if the bike meets their needs. So if you are commuting, then something like a Zero is absolutely superb. And for that particular market, someone who wants to save money, it makes sense. That to me is where the future, the immediate future is. The long-term future, who knows? Technology is getting better and better. Batteries and charging abilities and range is getting better by the day, so who knows where we're going to be.
2.5% of all the motorcycles sold in the UK in 2020 were electric, scooters and everything. So last year it then went to 5.5%. This year we're now at about 8% already. So already when you get about 10% of a market share, it's not unusual then to see an electric motorcycle around the place. So we just see ourselves getting bigger and bigger. For the last 3 years we've grown at a rate of about 40% so far every year, which is it's a big number.
The benefits I've noticed are, being quieter, you can kind of hear more around you what's going on.
Obviously the cost of petrol at the moment is costing me 30 quid a week to fill my Ducati up, whereas this hopefully I can just plug in and it will get me to and from work all week, so at very little cost, so that's the main benefit.
For me, it's just the awareness. Not having that mechanical sound, I can actually hear everything that's going on around me.
The running costs in general, not just the fuel, but the wear and tear on the brakes and the cycle parts, because of the way the engine brakes for you.
I've been riding for 37 years, and when I first heard about electric motorcycles, like most people, I thought, what's the point of that? You know, and since then we've heard all the arguments about loud pipes save lives and so on, all this sort of thing. But I've got to say, given a choice now, petrol or electric, I would take the electric bike all day long.
I was very sceptical to begin with electric motorcycling, having been a petrol motorcyclist for a long time. The thought of no noise, all the normal things that people come in and say to us now about the electric bikes, you very quickly forget all of that the second you sit on one and twist the throttle. The performance is second to none on the bikes, which, you know, you can jump on one of these 125 equivalent bikes and have the performance of a 600cc. So I've been converted, no two ways about that. I love it. That's all I jump on now is the electric bikes if I've got to pop down the shops or go out for the weekend.
Some people just can't bear the thought of no noise. Some people think that the range isn't enough. Some people think that they're too expensive. If it was the opposite way and electric bikes were the predominant force and we're trying to change things around to selling petrol bikes, if you imagine trying to explain to somebody that to get rid of the electric bike and have a petrol bike and say that you are going to fill your tank with inflammable liquid and there's going to be thousands of sparks flying around between your legs, and say would you ride it, you say probably not. It's because people are frightened of change. That's all it is, it's change. It's just a motorcycle. Yes, it's an electric motorcycle, but it's actually just to have a decent bike as well. It's nothing to be frightened of.
Days like today are really important because I think that there's no pressure here on a day like today. This is not a selling environment, so people can come down, they can socialise with other riders, they can meet up. So it's almost like a bike meet and a ride out, and people are coming down feeling, as I said, a lot more relaxed, opportunity to try different bikes. It's only a 15-20 minute ride out, but you can try 3 or 4 different models. You can go out 10 times if you want to, and it's all about that experience.
The reality is, here we are at Oakley Motorcycles in Maidstone, and anybody could turn up any time of the day at any time of the year and ask for a demo ride and get one. Yet when we have a demo event like this, we get lots of people coming out the woodwork to come and ride motorcycles, and we think it's because it's a non-threatening environment. We've said, look, come and ride an electric motorcycle, you don't have to buy one. So people are just inquisitive and want to see what it's like, and genuinely in 5 years of doing this, we've never had one person who said that was really awful.
People don't get the chance to experience these bikes. And I think if you come down and ride the bikes, it gives you a whole new perspective of what they're capable of. And it is just get as many bums on seats as possible.
They are just a motorcycle, and I choose to ride electric because I enjoy riding it. I ride other ones too because I enjoy riding those too. But there's no replacements here. We're not looking to replace everybody's motorcycle. It's an alternative in the same way that you might buy a Honda or a Suzuki or a Kawasaki. You might buy a Zero because of the name on the tank and because you enjoy riding it. It just so happens it's electric, and we now make bikes that look pretty cool as well now.
If you haven't got a chance to come down today, come down at any other point, take some electric bikes out. We've got plenty of demonstrators available, and just come and do it. Come and see.